Good morning. We have an exciting electric adventure for you today. We're going to be taking the F-150 Lightning. It's all charged up, you can see here in the background. We're going to be taking it to the very northern end of Interstate 75 in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. We're going to ride the Soo Locks. We are also going to go to Mackinac Island, Michigan. We're going to take the ferry ride over there. We're going to take the e-bikes and ride the perimeter road around the island. As you know, that island has no automobiles on it, so we'll have the whole road to ourselves. And if you see the third bike there, that's for our granddaughter, our oldest granddaughter. It's her birthday today. We're going to be picking her up and taking her with us, and we're going to take her to Frankenmuth, Michigan for a special birthday lunch. So the first thing we have to do is go pick her up. So come along with us. Here we go.
Welcome back to E-Hermes, your electric adventure travel channel. Please remember to subscribe, hit the like button, and hit that bell button to be notified of our upcoming content.
Of course, our very first stop is at Dunkin' Donuts. There she is, all ready to go in her little kingdom here. She's got the DVD player. You're gonna watch some DVDs that your mommy and uncles used to watch when we went on road trips out west. She's got activity books, and she's got an iced decaf coffee. There's a donut there somewhere for you. And then we're going to a special lunch for you today. Are you excited?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. With 19% battery, we have arrived at the relatively new Red E DC fast charger just outside Novi. I think this is Wixom, Michigan. We're gonna go ahead and charge here, and then we'll have enough to get to Frankenmuth for lunch, and then we'll get on to Hartwick Pines State Park. We'll have one more charging stop just outside there in Grayling, Michigan, and then we'll be at our campsite for the night. All right, so this, you don't have an app for Red E. You just use your credit card. Maybe. I guess I already did. I just didn't know it. Your video's open the screen? Well, it's the first time I've used this type of charger, so I had a little learning curve, but it didn't take long. And we are up and going, ramping up. We're at 60, 73, 79, 80. I think this is 150. Ultimately, we're going to charge to 80%. I don't think we'll be here an hour and 1 minute. I really hope we're not. Although we do seem to be maxing out at 80 kilowatts instead of 150. It's a little bit disappointing. We'll come back, see how things are going. We charged for 39 minutes to get us to 80%, which gets us, would actually get us all the way to Grayling, to Hartwick Pines. But we're gonna stop at Frankenmuth anyhow. There's another charger right before Grayling we're gonna stop at. It said we got 81 kilowatts. It said it was $0 charge. So if we got it for free, that's even better. settlers first settled Frankenmuth, Michigan in 1845, and it has retained its Bavarian culture and architecture to this day. One of the most common things to do there is to eat at one of the two Bavarian-themed restaurants, the Bavarian Inn and Zender's. We chose Zender's as it is the original, has been there the longest, since 1854. The best way to order is their family-style all-you-can-eat meal, where they just keep bringing you food over and over again. There must be almost 40 dishes between the massive appetizer course, the main course, and dessert. If you don't get full here, it's your fault, because they'll just keep bringing you food, and they even let you take a little bit home if you haven't reordered it just to take it with you. So after eating ourselves silly in Frankenmuth, we drove about 75 more miles north. We got to Dawn Arbor Ford in West Branch, Michigan, where they have these ABB DC fast chargers. We're gonna charge here for about 45 minutes to get pretty full, because the site we're going to in Hartwick Pines State Park does have electric, but it's only a 30 amp 120 volt. So we'll only get about 15 or 20% overnight. So I want to get this close to 80%. We'll drive up there, we'll lose about 10 or 15, and then overnight we'll be back close to 80 again tomorrow when we head to Sault Ste. Marie and the Soo Locks. This was a great charging session. In 37 minutes, we got up to 80%, so we're back on the road. We averaged about, before it dropped off at 80%, we averaged about 140 kilowatts on this charger, which is pretty good. We have arrived at Hartwick Pines State Park, just outside Grayling, Michigan. We arrived with 63% battery, 130 miles on the guessometer. We're going to charge overnight. It says we'll be at 100%. This is Sunday by 11:30 Tuesday night. So we won't be at 100% in the morning, that's for sure. But we'll probably have 70 or 75 in the morning. And that'll certainly get us up to Mackinac City, maybe even all the way up to Sault Ste. Marie. Then we'll charge at one of those two places. Now we have to set up the tent. Well, our campsite is all set up. We have our eating area here. The picnic tables they have here with the extension for the handicap access on the ends are just way too long. The screen house won't fit there. The truck is charging. The tent is here. Mrs. E-Hermes has the bed all set up. So we are ready to go. Gonna have a little campfire. And tomorrow morning we're heading off to Sault Ste. Marie to the Soo Locks. We got about a 10% charge last night with the 120 volt 30 amp. Not ideal. We had to stop anyhow once today to charge. We're gonna head up to Sault Ste. Marie now and ride through the Soo Locks. A little chillier than we expected. So we're gonna run the heater and go ahead and head up there. We pulled into Gaylord, Michigan with, I think it was 54%. We didn't need to charge right now. We're really here to get some stuff at the Meijer that it's at, but since we're here, we might as well charge. So I'm gonna go plug in. There's 4 Electrify America here, and shockingly, it looks like they're all operational. That's kind of unusual. And then right down there are the Tesla chargers in the same spot. Well, I was wrong. When I opened the app, it says that this station, I believe 3, is actually not working, which makes sense because it thinks somebody's still plugged in and idling. Wow. Somebody's going to get one heck of a bill if they are still connected to their account for 3 hours. But we're over here on the 150 charger, and we are getting 128, 127, 128, which at 60% is just fine. All right, so we're done grocery shopping, and you see we didn't get much. We weren't in there very long. We would come out to the truck, and I looked at the app, and we're already in the close to 90%. So that was a very good use of our time to charge while we were shopping anyhow. here we are on the original Suloc's boat tour.
The feature of FCM is that floating dry dock. It's used for repairing vessels and a lot of inspection.
We entered into the smaller of the two locks, the MacArthur lock. It still takes 10 million gallons of water to raise us up 21 feet. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes, and this is the rapids that we miss using the locks. Then we watched a large freighter go through the locks. No matter how big the boat, it all works on the same principle, with no pumping, only gravity, water seeking its own level.
Before we head back to the campground, which is about 130 miles away, we're gonna go ahead and charge. We actually, I think, have enough to get back there, but I'd rather charge here. There's a charger just across the Mackinac Bridge in Mackinac City, but it's very expensive. They charge you not only for the electricity, but also to park while you're charging, kind of insult to injury. So we're gonna charge here at the Meyer store in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. And then when we get back to the campsite, since that charger is so, you get so little out of that 30 amp, 120 volt, we're probably gonna go into Grayling, have dinner there, and charge again. Not that we would have to do it right then, we could do it in the morning, but it's supposed to be raining heavily, and there's not a lot to do in a tent when it's raining. All right, we are ready to get over to the ferry to take it to Mackinac Island. Mackinac Island, Mackinac Bridge, something like that. I get them confused. The line to get tickets is about a half hour long if you don't already have them pre-purchased online. So if you have the chance, buy them online before you get here. Then this is the line to actually get on the boat.
Can't hear you.
We waited in line about an hour. Sorry, I know it's a little noisy, but I'm in the back of the boat. There's a nice view of the bridge.
On select routes, the Star Line's boat trip to the island actually takes you under the bridge, so you get to see it from a perspective that most people don't get to see. It's really interesting, and we highly recommend that if you have the option, you take that route. As you can see, we are not the only people that brought our bikes along. It is amazing how clear the water is. You can see right to the bottom, even at the dock area where you know it's been dredged out for the boats to tie up.
This is the only state route in Michigan that I'm aware of that has no automobiles on it. We're gonna ride around the island. I think it's 8 miles. But first, lunch at the Watercolor Cafe, where after lunchtime they have painting classes. Sometimes traffic gets a little bit heavy, but the views are magnificent. Once you get out of town, the traffic dies down and it's a little easier to get around. The views are still gorgeous. The water is amazingly clear. Amazing. Amazingly, very clear. So clear. And the road just stretches on ahead of you, all the way around the island. Plenty of places to dip your toes in the water if you're so inclined. Did I mention how clear the water is? Very clear. As we come around the northeast corner of the island, look at the changing currents. It goes from perfectly still to some current coming around the north end. All kinds of views. At just about the halfway point, mile 4, there is a restroom facility and a small nature display. And just beyond that, yes, ice cream. Some of it winds through nice, cool, forested areas. This is part of the Grand Hotel you ride by. There are a few hundred families that live here year-round, so of course they have to have a school with a very nice playground. Then too soon we're back in town. and the ride is over. There's plenty of other things to do here in the island though. You can visit the Grand Hotel. There are many shops, restaurants, and stores. And you can even spend the night at one of the many houses that have been turned into B&Bs. As for us, we're gonna head back to the boat and back to the camper.
But first, dinner at the Rusted Spoke Brewing Company just across the street from the docks. There's a Tesla supercharger station located in the parking lot at the docks. The CCS charging station is at the casino, which is about half a mile away, but there's a nice shared use path, so I dropped the girls off, went to charge, rode my bike back to the restaurant. When we're done eating, I'll go get the truck and come back and pick up the girls. And again, we'll be charging while we're doing something else, so we're not losing any time.
We spent our last day doing regular camping stuff. We rode our bikes, went for a hike, cooked over the fire, and just generally relaxed around the campsite. Tomorrow we'll be heading back for home. We've been charging at the TT30, getting 1 kilowatt, which isn't giving us much. From the time we got here yesterday afternoon until tomorrow morning, we'll get about 25 or 30%. But with when we charged yesterday afternoon, that'll give us enough to get to at least Bay City, if not further south. We got up early and got the camp torn down before the rains really hit. Didn't really want to have breakfast in the rain, so we drove into town to Goodall's Bakery in the distance there. And what do we have here? A ready charger. It's only 50 kW, but in the, I don't know, 20 minutes we were in there to have breakfast, we got about 15%. We're up to 83%. It'll probably let us skip Bay City's charger and get all the way down to the Flint, Detroit area. Very convenient having a charger right by a bakery right in town, near the campground. We are back at the Red E at the Marathon Station in Wixom, just outside Detroit. We weren't really trying to push it because we got here with 7%. You know, anything over 5%, you're not really trying. Anyhow, we're going to charge here probably to 90%, and if we do, we should be able to get home because we got from home to here with 81, we used 81%. But we'll see. It's pretty windy today. We'll see how that goes. But in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and get charged and go probably have some lunch. With the charge to 94% at the Marathon Station in Wixom, Michigan, which we highly recommend as the charging there is free through the end of this year, we were able to get home with 19% without an additional charge. So really, we left with a full charge because we charged while we were getting coffee and donuts. So we really only had one charge coming home, and we got home with 19%. Overall, our trip was 1,312 miles, and we averaged 1.9 miles per kilowatt hour. So we certainly hope you enjoyed this trip of northern Michigan, Mackinac Island, the Mackinac Bridge. I think it's Mackinac Island. I get those two mixed up. And the Soo Locks. If you did, please hit that like button. As always, please subscribe, and please hit that bell button to be notified of our upcoming content. Thank you!